Hello everybody, Nina Soden here. I've got my coffee and I've got a good book and I am ready to talk about today's Friday reads. Okay, so today I'm talking about one of my favorite authors, or my favorite author, Stephen King, and his story, The Body. This is a short story, it is not a novel, so it's teeny tiny compared to most of his books. And it was originally, I read it in an anthology of short stories called The Stand. And that was many, many, many years ago, and it was awesome. And then I remember falling in love with the movie, Stand By Me. And I'm not sure if I read the story first or if I watched the movie first. I can't remember. But I probably saw that movie at least 100 times, if not more. And if it came on today, I would still watch the movie. That is just one of those movies that I will sit through no matter what. If it's on, I'm gonna watch it. But I was roaming through Target recently and saw this, the cover, The Body, Stephen King. I had no idea he had released it as its own separate book, and I snatched it up at 20% off. Thank you, Target. And was so glad that I did, because this has been my favorite of his short stories forever. And going back and reading it as an adult, because I hadn't read it since I was younger, going back and reading it as an adult was a real treat. He is just amazing. So, okay, The Body by Stephen King. Just going quick review overview, the writing, 5-star, the story, 5-star, characters, 5-star, appearance, 5-star. Okay, look at this book cover. If you know this story, then you know that this cover is a pivotal scene in the book. So it's the 4 boys and they are running across the train track bridge with a train right behind them. It is just a phenomenal, intense, wonderful moment in the story, and they portrayed it beautifully in the movie. All right, so Amazon description. Do I want to do that? Nope. I'm going to go ahead and read the back of the book. So, 12-year-old Gordy LaChance and his 3 friends set out on a quest to find a boy from a nearby town who has disappeared. They search for his body along the railroad tracks during a miserably hot summer and soon learn that monsters are not lurking in their closets. Oh, nope, not lurking. Learn that monsters are not lurking in their closets, but live in the hearts of people. Adapted into the 1986 classic film Stand By Me, The Body is an iconic exploration of friendship, adventure, and an unforgettable coming-of-age story by master storyteller Stephen King. 1986. All right. And I saw it when it came out. Amazing, amazing movie. A phenomenal short story. So one of the things that I like most about this short story, not only is it Stephen King and it feels like Stephen King, it is exactly his writing style. I mean, he is the reason I love books in the first place. But one thing I love about this story is he ties everything up so neatly. There's a ton of characters in here, and he gives everyone life, and he makes you relate to just about every one of them. And although it is a very short story compared to the mass majority of his books, which are insanely long, he still has all the character development you need. You still feel like you know these, especially the main 4 boys, you know them so well. And you can say, oh yeah, Gordy is like my friend so-and-so, and Vern is like my friend so-and-so, and Teddy is like my friend so-and-so. You can relate to them. But in the end, he ties it up so nicely. You know, when you close this book, you know what happened to Chris and Teddy and Vern. And you know where they've gone and what their future holds for them if they have a future. So he doesn't just leave you with this little adventure and then make you wonder, oh, I wonder how, if they're still friends 15 years later or 20 years later. I wonder where they are today. No, when he ended this story, it's done. You know exactly what happened to their future, which is so nice. He ties everything up. And Stephen King has an amazing way of developing his characters without throwing everything in your face. But instead, he just infuses them into your life so that you feel like you need to read more and you need to turn that next page. And usually with a short story, I feel almost empty, like there should be more of it, like there isn't enough explanation. Well, Stephen King gives you all of that, even in his short little, 179 page book. You still feel like you got a full story out of it, which is really nice. Okay, so I did talk a little bit about the cover. This is a beautiful cover. One, I like the simplicity of just the white, the blue, and the black, but because it is such a pivotal moment in the book, it's really nice to see, such a simple, gripping cover. And my favorite quote is actually from the scene that this cover is about. And I'm going to read it here. All right, so this is the moment they're on the train track. And Teddy and Chris are up ahead. And we're sitting here. Vern is way back. And we're right here at the moment. So Gordy is the one that's talking. Gordy is kind of our speaker throughout the story. He's the one talking throughout the story. So Gordy's in the middle of the train tracks. Vern is behind him. Teddy and Chris are farther ahead. And Gordy realizes there's a train coming. And he screams, "Train." And then this is what happens. Vern's head jerked back over his shoulder. The surprise that distorted his face was almost comically exaggerated, written as large as the letters in a Dick and Jane premiere. He saw me break into my clumsy, shambling run, dancing from one horribly high cross tie to the next, and I knew I wasn't joking. He began to run himself. Okay, so that's my favorite quote, probably because as I read it, I can picture exactly what happens. You can picture Gordy and his strange run. He has these long, skinny legs, and he's kind of like a puppy with their new legs, and he's clumsy, and there's that chance that he's gonna fall on the train tracks, and it's scary, and it's and there's that moment, that train is coming, and Vern is way back there, and if Gordy keeps going, he can't help Vern, but he can't help Vern because there's a train coming. So anyway, that is my favorite, one of my very favorite moments in this story. There's so many. I could have picked probably 15 different favorite quotes, but the way that it's illustrated in his words, it's a comically exaggerated expression. His clumsy, shambling run, dancing across the railroad ties. I mean, it's just a beautifully illustrated paragraph to describe exactly what you envision in your mind. And that is one of the reasons I love Stephen King so much, is because he doesn't just put words on paper. He paints you a picture with his words, and it's phenomenal. All right, so that is The Body by Stephen King. My thoughts, my 2 cents, for whatever they're worth. If you liked this video, please click subscribe up there, or wherever the button is. Share it with your friends. Comment below and tell me what you thought of The Body by Stephen King. And then if you liked this one, like my other videos, check them out, and check out my blog post review, which I will post in the comments below. All right, everybody, have a great Friday and happy reading.